Okay, hi there. I've noticed that I had another comment to do with iRFFB, so thought I would post an update correct as of 2021. What are we in now? May. It's still working fine. It hasn't been updated for the last couple of years. If you go to in my original video, iRacing force feedback fix, disappointed with iRacing force feedback, there's a link there. I'll repost that link in this video. And you can see this is the same version 1.4.2. Anyway, the update, and to clarify after some questions on the original video, you do not need to use vJoy, period. You do not need to use vJoy. If you're purely planning on using iRFFB just for steering inputs and to tidy up and maximize the force feedback alone, you do not need vJoy. Just download, as I showed you previously with the link that I'm going to post below, version 4.1.2 alone. That's the exe file. You can move that exe file wherever you like. You can place it in your My Documents or place it on another drive, perhaps on the games drive where you keep iRacing and so on, and then run it from there. Next step is to actually set it up. Now, the only way, as far as I know, that iRFFB works without vJoy is to run it in 360 hertz mode. So just make sure you've selected 360 hertz, and obviously make sure your actual racing wheel is selected in the force feedback device, and then configure your settings from there. All right, you'll know that it's got it because it is a acquired direct input device with all right, but vJoy not enabled. So what it means is, what it's saying is, vJoy is not taking care of any of the button inputs. iRFFB will only be looking at the feedback or the telemetry that's sent to the wheel itself and nothing else. Another guy asked, can you run this, get it to save settings for each individual car? Yes, you can. Just tick this box here, use car specific settings. It will save that to a little config file. Reduce force when parked, probably a good idea, especially if you're on a direct drive wheel. Run on startup, exactly as it says, minimize and so on. These are the settings I use. They work the best for me. I don't let minimum force come into play. I feel it sort of muddies the existing forward back, so I turn that down to 0. I was on a G29 that moved up to the T300. That's a little bit more, maybe even twice as powerful as the G29. So I'm, believe it or not, this is around back to front. There's obviously some logic to it, but it's above my brain level, so I don't understand that. So I run it quite high up. I could possibly even run it more towards the 6.0 mark, which is towards the weaker end. So it's counterintuitive, but that means it's weaker. The higher up the scale is weaker. The lower down the scale, the stronger. And I leave dampening at 0 for the same reason as minimum force, as that just muddies the feedback. It does add weight, which is nice, and it does sort of smooth things out a little. But really, you want the crispness of the actual telemetry-driven force feedback to come through. On the right, you've got suspension bumps. I like to have that up there. I like to feel when I'm losing traction over the top of the rumble strips on the curbs and so on. Understeer, why wouldn't you want anything less than 100? Understeer offset, that's a limit at which you can tell iRFFB to not send anything. So you might say anything below 25 for the understeer effect, don't send it. Well, I want to feel all of it, so I leave that down at 0. The same as the for the seat of the pants effect, I want to feel all of that 100%. And the offset, in other words, I want to feel every bit of it. I don't want there to be a limit before it gives that effect to me, so I set that at 0. So that's there. Again, making sure without vJoy, you have force feedback type set to 360 hertz, and you've got the wheel selected. That's good to go there. And if we go back into iRacing, after you change and or adjust, or the first time you've installed or are running iRFFB, make sure you click on steering alone. It's only your steering that's getting that will change here. None of your button inputs, they will all be mapped correctly to the wheel as they were previously, if you had your wheel set up previously. The pedals won't change, none of the gear settings or any of the shortcuts. Then just click on steering, and in the normal way, just turn the wheel around as the instructions tell you on the screen. Rotate it fully left, fully right, then back to the center, and then adjust it for your locking. Click done, and you're done. And you'll know that the game has correctly acknowledged iRFFB because the used linear and reduced force when parked boxes will be grayed out. None of these force feedback effects within iRacing will have any effect anymore. Also, when you're in the car, you will notice that when you go to the graphics adjustments tab, where usually at the bottom you see the option to adjust force feedback, that will no longer be there. That being said, it's easy enough when you're in the car, actually. Let's go back in again. To Alt-Tab to your iRFFB setting, if I can find it, which I can't because I've lost it. Hang on, where is it? There it is. When you're in the game, you can actually go in and adjust the force live. So you don't have to exit the car to do it. You can. So if you're adept with Alt-Tabbing whilst you're in the vehicle, I'll show you here. There, we can go back in. We're in the car, and I can adjust the strength to whatever I want there. Go back into the vehicle, and then we're back on again. It will take those new settings. Hope that helps, everyone. Again, I'll leave the link for iRFFB in the description. It's not being updated any longer, but do use it. It's a terrific piece of software. It's just a shame that iRacing's force feedback is just missing that little something for me, and I need all the help I can get with regards to feedback from the wheel to help me at least maintain a modicum of speed. So I hope that helps you all. Cheers, see you all later.